Good morning, everyone. How you doing? I know I said I'd probably go back to the other camera, but I thought of a new way of making the microphone work. So I've got a hat on, actually, and with a microphone on the hat, rather than having it like pinned to a lapel. So hopefully this will make the sound just a little bit better. I'll still probably fiddle with it in Adobe Audition, but you know, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. Maybe tomorrow with the AeroPress, we'll do the other camera. We'll see. I don't know. It is a day-by-day thing, just like everything else in this world, in my life, day by day. Perfectly normal, perfectly fine. Good morning. How are we doing over there? Excellent. I'm glad to see it. Okay, so we got our Ramble Coffee. The whole bean coffee from High Street in Columbus, Ohio, North High Street. I didn't notice knew the roast date. I didn't bring it up. This is the perfect roast. Oh, look, it even kind of shows here. Interesting. Single origin, right there. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna blitz that up again. Probably about the same method. Oh, I need a filter, don't I? Get this all bend up. It's going to be another beautiful day today, and then it's going to change to cold again next week. This change is probably going to start on Saturday, which is kind of a bummer. It'd be nice if it was consistent. You know, it just doesn't stay consistent this time of year. So what are you going to do? Okay, so Ramble Coffee. Let's do this in some semblance of order here, huh? I'm going to do our regular around 28 grams. Maybe a little bit too much. Okay. I don't believe you. Did you see that? That was crazy. This thing is having a fit. I wonder if the batteries are going dead. Okay, let's try this again. Batteries might be going dead. Let's see. On. 0. Perfect. $28. Nice. According to this. When you can't trust your scale, what can you trust? Well, there's a lot of different things, but, you know, scale's just something that the battery needs changed in it, so it'll be all right. Okay, let's go. And son of a gun, wouldn't you know? I brought this out. This is water. I meant to water the beans just a little bit in order to keep it from, and this is why I don't do it, because I keep forgetting every time. Unfortunately, we get a lot of static, and it all kind of sticks, and then it'll stick to the paper a little bit as it falls out because of all of the static. It doesn't affect the taste in any way, shape, or form. It's just that there's a lot of retention. I mean, look at all that. That's too bad. This is because I forgot to do it. I forgot to do it again. So I'm hoping. Let's do this. I know the paper weighs like a couple of ounces, so let's do this real quick. I should have done this anyway. Okay, so not a lot of retention. The paper must weigh just a little, just a cup, an ounce, maybe an ounce. Actually, we could test that right here, couldn't we? I've got the whole box sitting right beside me. 0. Okay, well, it can't be measured. Obviously, it can't be measured. Apparently. At least by this scale. Sometimes I wonder, maybe I should replace the batteries in it. I'll do that this afternoon. We'll replace those batteries. It's so funny. All right. I hope this isn't too loud. Drop the gain just a little bit. Weird. Yeah, it's experimentation, working with things. It's just trying to make it better and make it more interesting to edit, and then maybe a different shot variety to watch, because I know seeing the same thing in the same way over the past year, it can be a little boring. I appreciate everyone, continuing to tune in and whatnot. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's good for my mental health to see that people are watching and potentially enjoying it, which is what this journey has been all about. Not to discount any of your, anything you might be going through right now, but, I'm me. I've got a table in front of me. I've got coffee in front of me. This is my story, so you have your own story. I would encourage you to do a video blog or write in a journal, or, something that will, put your thoughts in at least into the world rather than them being trapped into your head. This is just me doing this, having a journey, having fun while I'm doing it, having some breakdowns while I'm doing it. It's just, I guess it's normal, so, I never discount anyone else's experiences, but, this is mine, and I thank you for tuning in and watching it happen. Anyway, I can't remember if there was anything I really wanted to talk about or not. I don't think so. We're getting ready to go to Florida. That's at the end of the month. Hopefully I can figure out how to take some pictures and whatnot at that roaster that's down there in New Smyrna. I don't know how they feel about people filming stuff, but it would be really a lot of fun to do that. I'm definitely coming back with some of their coffee again. Their coffee is amazing. So, Timor and Peruvian. I think it was the Timor that was the walnut that tasted really great. All right, so the clever device, if you're new to the party, which I doubt you are, but I'll explain it anyway. It's a fun little device that if you put it on top of the cup, a valve opens, and the coffee passes through. So what this basically does is it steeps. It steeps, and then much like a AeroPress, kind of like an AeroPress, it will draw through after it's steeped, I guess in this case. It'll draw through the coffee at one last time and then deposit any of the flavor it has gotten into this cup. So basically, oh man, I meant to start the bloom timer, but that's okay. I figure that's a good enough bloom. So what I'm going to do is, this handles around 400. I need to get a spoon because I am going to run a little stir and then do a little swirl, I think. Let's get it up there. There we go. A little more than I wanted, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is take this off of here. And we're going to let the timer run so I can see it. Let me grab a spoon. And give it a little bit of a stir. Get some of the bits that have come up onto the side of the wall here. People want every ounce of coffee out of the beans that they get. And I know that a lot of that reason is because some of the beans that a lot of the hobbyists get are really expensive. What was it? The guy in Medellin, the coffee farm tour guide, said that there was a coffee in Panama that's $800 to $900 per bag, like a 12-ounce bag, because the conditions are just perfect to grow that coffee. But it is it's a very specialty coffee because it grows in a very small area, smaller than their farm. And the beans are picked every I think there are two seasons, like one around December, January, and then once around the middle of the year. It's a very small farm, and it's a very specific type of coffee bean. So it's like $700 to $800 a 12-ounce bag because it's a specialty coffee. So there are people out there that just buy that kind of specialty coffee. So it's not necessarily a cheap hobby to people that are deep hobbyists. I don't want to say real hobbyists. That's stupid. Deep hobbyists, the people that go that a little bit extra to pay $800 a bag of coffee. So and then the stuff that comes out of Hawaii, the Kona coffee, that stuff's like $500-$600 per 12-ounce bag of coffee. It's ridiculous, but apparently it's worth it. I guess I don't know. I've never tasted it. The coffee that I have tasted from small roasters that are between $17 and $25 a bag are delicious. So I'm sure that there's some added bonus to having that coffee. I don't know what it would be. I would doubt that any kind of flavors a trained coffee drinker would get, I would not get, but I'm sure it's a delicious cup of coffee. That's the only thing I can guarantee I will understand whether I like it or not. Yeah. And you don't really think about it either, because there are places, there are countries that don't exactly have filtered water on hand like I do. Like I have a fridge over here that has, filtered water that comes out. Some countries don't have that. Maybe because they have apartments that are not big enough to have a refrigerator or the size that it would require to have that kind of a pump. So a lot of people desalinate their own water. Like the tap water is still fine. It's perfectly fine, but they'll pull water from the tap and then they'll take all of the hard minerals out of it with a desalination process, I think they call it. And then they'll add back a certain amount of minerals to it to balance out the flavor. And then, that's another perfect science that's interesting to watch and hear someone talk about. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to do the thing here, but we, maybe we can manage it. Hang on. I'm going to certainly, I'm adjusting my tie. Oi, my wife. Oh, geez. Oh, all right, hang on. Awesome. That's great. There are your leave-ins right there. Isn't that fun? And then you just pick the clever up, and then the little thing shuts off the valve. So you may get some small drips if you just want to shake it over top of the coffee cup, and then you just put the clever down here. Boom. And then you've got a delicious cup of coffee from Ramble Coffee. Yesterday we established it was wonderful. It was great in the Chemex. This is a light roast too, by the way. This extraction seems to have given it a much darker color. It's been able to absorb a little bit more coffee than passing through with the Chemex. So it should be interesting to see how concentrated you get with steeping and pressure, because this is gravity that did this. The AeroPress will use pressure to push the air through the coffee. So let's see. That smells really good. Okay. It's funny because the dark cherries is It's like a little bit of a sour taste because it's a light roast. Cherries kind of have a little bit of a tart, sour kind of taste flavor. That's how it reacts with your tongue anyway. This definitely brings a lot of that. You get a little bit of tang, a little bit of sourness, and then the cocoa is a bitter flavor. You know, cocoa is just cocoa powder, so there's no sugar in it at all. So you kind of get a bitterness along with your chocolate hit, and that just shines in this coffee. I like this mic position better, actually, because I don't hit it. I was afraid I was going to hit it and there was just going to be so much banging noise and everything was going to sound awful. Yesterday, the recording wasn't that bad. Hopefully, this new mic position will make it a little bit more tolerable. We'll see. I may have to do some editing to see what sounds I can pull out and how I can make it sound nicer. I really didn't have anything else to talk about today. Today was just about the coffee. Tomorrow we're going to grab the AeroPress. We're going to try this through the AeroPress. I don't know if it can get much darker than this, but I'm willing to try. Like I said, going through the Chemex, it had a nice red tint to it, which was actually kind of pleasing. This much darker because it steeped a little. It steeped and then passed through. The flavors are weirdly similar, if not a little bit more muted, maybe. This might be a coffee that's best expressed through a Chemex where you pour it through. Whereas, if it sits in the water for too long, it starts to get some unpleasing. I was going to say unpleasing. Some displeasing. Displeasing? No, it's not displeased at me. I'm displeased at it. Some unpleasant, there's a good word, some unpleasant properties from the coffee itself. Then again, it could have been the grind. You could sit here for hours and experiment until you get it the way you wanted it to. But to be honest, who has that kind of time? Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow with the AeroPress. Bye.